Hi guys. So today we're going to review how to do a single step equation when it's addition or subtraction. So let's go. Single step equation, addition or subtraction. Okay, so first step, number one, you have to actually, no, you know what? Before I even put down number one, I'm going to put down what our goal is. This is always our goal when we are doing equations. Goal, get the variable by itself. And I put 3 exclamation points after it because it is insanely important that you remember we have to get the variable by itself. Yes, this one is addition and subtraction only, but it doesn't matter what we're doing. If we have multiplication in there, if we have division in there, if we have exponents in there, or square roots, or we have like 6 different things going on, we always want to get that variable by itself. Do you remember what the variable is? The variable is a letter. Doesn't matter what letter it is. It can be A, B, C, D, E, F, any of them. It is a letter that is actually a number, but we don't know what number it is yet. Okay? Today, we're going to be working with ones that actually have an answer, that have a specific number that they are. Later on, we'll be working with ones where the number changes depending on what other number you were given. But for today, it will only have one answer. All right? So get the variable, get the letter by itself. So the first thing that you need to do is ask the question, what is bothering the variable and how? Okay, what is bothering the variable and how? So your answer for today is either going to be, is it something added to it or something subtracted from it? So I'll put add or subtract in parentheses there. Okay? So what is bothering the variable and how? Number 2, do the opposite to both sides of the equation to get rid of the variable. Oh, sorry, to get rid of the number. So what does that mean? That means that if it was addition, you subtract it from both sides. If it's subtraction, you add it to both sides. So I know, this gets a little bit confusing. Let me put one example on this page and then we'll flip over to the other page and then we'll flip over to another page and do some more examples. So if I have x plus 6 is equal to 7, my first question is, what is bothering the variable? My answer is the 6. 6 shouldn't be there. Variable wants to be by itself. The 6 is bugging it, shouldn't be there. How? It's added to it. So step number 2, I have to do the opposite. Since this is added right here, I need to subtract to get rid of it. So minus 6 minus 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. 7 minus 6 is 1. So all I'm left with on this side is x. I have the equal sign, which I did nothing to. And on this side, I now have the number 1. Over here, let me do y minus 5 is equal to 11. What's bugging my variable? My variable is a y. What's bugging the y? That minus 5. How is it bugging it? By subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So I will add the 5 to both sides. A negative 5 and a positive 5 go together to make a 0. 11 plus 5 is 5 plus 1, 6. 1 plus nothing, 1. Y, which is all that's left on this side, equals, we didn't do anything to the equal sign, 16, which is what that side now is. Okay? Let me go through some other examples and some if scenarios, because sometimes we end up with stuff looking a little crazier than what you would think it should look like. All right, so we sometimes get this. 2 plus a is equal to 5. All right? The a is second. My variable is second. What am I supposed to do now? Well, I still need the same thing. I still need to get rid of that 2 because that 2 is still bugging it. Now, I can't see what's in front of the 2 because there's nothing in front of the 2. Do you remember what sign should be there? When I don't have a sign, when I don't show a sign, what sign is supposed to be there? It's an invisible plus sign. So we have an invisible plus sign there. And that tells us what the opposite is. How can we get rid of that 2? Well, what's the opposite of plus? Minus. So I have to minus the 2 from both sides. Because 2 minus 2 is 0. And 5 minus 2 is 3. Sorry. Let me pause for a second and go plug in my iPad. All right, so other stuff that can end up happening. If I have a negative 4 plus c is equal to 7. Again, the letter is in the middle. The c is in the middle. My variable is in the middle. I still want to get it by itself. I still have a 4 that is bugging it. At this point, it's a negative 4. I still need to do the opposite sign. It does not matter that that is a plus there, because I worry, what I want to know is the sign that is in front of the 4. I don't care what sign is in front of the 3 right now. I really don't. That could be a minus sign. None of these that we're doing right now are going to be minus signs because that's a 2-step equation. But for right now, it wouldn't matter if there was a minus sign in front of the C. If there was a positive sign in front of the 2 and a minus sign in front of the A, I would still only be worried about that positive sign in front of the 2. I would not be worried about the minus sign in front of the letter, okay? So just because there's a plus sign in front of the C, I don't care. It has nothing to do with what we're trying to do right now. All I care about is that sign that is in front of the number. That's all I care about. I care, is that a plus or is that a minus? At this point, that is the only thing that is of any interest to me. And in this case, that's a minus, which means in order to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite. What is the opposite of minus? What is the opposite of subtract? Add, right. So we will add the 4 to both sides. And a -4, +4, they're opposites, so they become 0. 7 plus 4 is 11. So I bring down what's left. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to bring down what was left over there. I'll go back there in a second. C is all that's left on this side. Then the equal sign we did nothing to, and 11 is all that's left on this side. Now going back over to this side, you might have noticed I didn't actually write down what our answer was. We bring down the A, the equal sign, and the 3. Okay, this is how we write the answer for these problems. It is the letter and then what the letter is equal to. Sometimes you end up in situations where your answer ends up being smaller than, ends up being less than 1. It ends up being a negative number. We'll come to that in, well, we'll come to that again later. I think I'm going to make up another one that's entirely about negative numbers and what we're supposed to do with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing them. Let me see, is there anything else weird that ends up happening with these ones? Oh, one other weird thing that can happen sometimes. I can have something like this. 10 equals F plus 5. You see how the variable's on this side now instead of this side? Doesn't matter. I still treat it exactly the same way. I still want to get that variable by itself. I want to get that F by itself. The 5 is connected by a add. So I need to, what's the opposite of add? Subtract. I need to subtract it. So -5 on both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. So then I rewrite it. 5 is equal to F, because that's all that's left on that side. Although typically what ends up happening when we end up with an answer like this is we flip it, because the equal sign says it can face either direction, okay? Since, I hit my iPad. Since the equals are equal to each other, both sides are equal to each other. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, and 8 is equal to 5 plus 3. I can shift this. I can flip this. So it's no longer 5 is equal to F, but rather it is F is equal to 5. All right? Does this make sense? Okay, there are 2 ones down at the bottom that you can try out yourself. One is for adding and one is for subtraction. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.